Hello, everybody who is joining me today, and also anybody who watches my replay. I'm really excited this morning to talk about this painting, which is called Stepping Stones. And there's so many interesting things to talk about with this painting, so it's difficult to know where to start. But from the view, it might look like some of these darker spots are black, but they're not actually. They are a forest green color that's mixed with a black, which I really, really like. Instead of using a black, you can use a black mixed with other shades, and it makes it much more interesting. So hello to the two of you so far who've joined me. Really glad that you've come today. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. This painting is an interesting combination because at first it was not working out at all, and it was really frustrating me. So it actually, some of those paintings turn out better because they have a lot of layers underneath. So under this layer here, there's rice paper, and I ended up with really interesting details because I've got oil stick. These marks are oil stick, and the little circles around, I've got my little bucket here with, I've got my Sharpie China markers. I actually got these on Amazon. You don't have to buy them on Amazon, but I bought a whole bunch of them all at once. And it took me forever to figure out how to peel these things. Oh my goodness. I think I've only gotten really good at it recently. I don't know why it took me so long, but I really like these. So a number of the marks, and I might take the canvas off the easel just for a moment. So a number of the marks on this canvas are actually also made with that Sharpie oil pencil. Quite a few of the marks, and some of the marks up at the top here as well are made with, and I really have fun. Sometimes those are done sort of in a later stage where I'm just kind of adding details. I just want to make sure I get the whole painting in there, where I'm just adding details, and I'm not really thinking when I'm doing that because they're not overly overwhelming anyhow, so I can just kind of play around and do what I want. So the other thing about this painting is I have also used oil. I have used oil stick on that, and it took a little bit of bravery for me to decide to use oil sticks, I will admit. But when I saw them, I thought, I really loved how rich the colors were when I saw them at the art store, and I saw other people using them, and I just thought, I've got to give it a go. I've just got to try. So it was a bit of trial and error. I'm going to admit that. I might have kind of mucked up at least maybe one painting in the beginning that I couldn't come back from, because oil sticks, as you know, once you put, so this area here, so the teal, I've pulled out the teal here. So this is a Shiva stick, and the teal here and my ladder, and actually this area here is oil stick. And once you put oil stick down, you can't put anything but oil stick on top of it. So that can be a bit intimidating because I like to change things up a lot. And that was a bit hard for me to realize. Well, once I put that oil stick down, I couldn't change it. Unlike acrylic, where I can just do layers and layers and layers and layers, and it never really mattered. But what I did find is that I would get the painting to almost the perfect way I wanted it, and then I would add my oil sticks at the very end. And I also noticed that I could scrape into oil sticks, which is kind of interesting. So I can scrape into oil sticks with these Inktense Derwent. They're actually an ink pencil. So as you can tell, I have a whole, they were in a nice case originally, of course, and then, you know, we get using things and they end up in a yogurt bucket because it's just easier. So as you can tell, some of them are more favorite colors because they're shorter. They get shorter as you use them. So I guess I like this sun yellow a lot. So that one's shorter. Actually, I've probably used it there. So I've scraped just some little lines in here and they look really interesting. You can do a lot with that. So that's just kind of something I've learned. I also learned that I can scrape some oil stick off if I really hate it when it's not dry yet. So oil sticks take, in my opinion, I mean, I guess it depends on your environment, but they can take 2 to 3 days to fully dry. So if you put some oil stick on your paint, your acrylic painting, and you really hated it, you could take a palette knife and try to scrape some of it off. I have been successful with that when I've put a color on that I really felt was just completely wrong. And I've applied a different color of oil stick instead. So this is what I did here. I had put a darker oil stick and I really felt it didn't work. So instead I put the teal, I scraped it back a bit and I put the teal on top, and actually I just liked it much more. So there are some little tricks I've learned, and probably I'll learn some more. But I wanted to just talk a little bit about kind of the exciting thing about this painting, which is, you know, it's got texture. In some places it's smooth, in other places, but it's a fun painting. And what I like about it, I love the name of this painting because I like the fact that every painting is built upon sort of the other paintings you've done, right? So the name Stepping Stones, which my friend Maria helped me with, actually I sent her the picture of the painting and she helped me to find this name. I love the fact that every painting is built upon the painting before. So you always are where you are as an artist, and you're always building and building and building, but you're always building on where you were with the last painting. So I really love just kind of accepting where you are right at that moment. And as an intuitive artist, I always just try to embrace what comes to me in terms of color selection, and I try not to push out my intuition. So I love that title so much, and I really think it helps to be a better artist, to just embrace where you are at that moment. You push out kind of where other people are. You don't compare yourself to other artists. It really doesn't matter where other artists are. And it helps you to be a much more unique artist. It helps your paintings to be really, really unique and uniquely yours, and your style becomes uniquely yours because you're really following, you get really in a zone when you're painting. So there's kind of two different things. There's times when you're learning techniques from, you either take courses or I've taken programs and courses, so you're kind of in learning phase. But then when you're painting, you should be in that kind of zone where you're in intuitive painting phase, and you just let yourself play and be free and explore, and whatever comes to you, you kind of allow yourself to just go with it. And that's what I love about the title of this painting. And I'm trying to certainly stick with that. And I think my art reflects that. And the more that I stick with it, the better my art is, to be honest. The the less that I overthink it, the better that it is, the better the color combinations, the more interesting, and certainly the more unique. So I just want one more thing. I've gotten a little bit, I went away from the golds and that kind of thing for a long time. I'm not sure why. Sometimes we can be influenced by a lot of things as artists, and I think it's good, once again, as I said, to just listen to your own intuition. And if you feel excited about something, if you see something at the art store and it makes you feel excited, then just go with it. So I started to kind of get excited about just using a little bit of gold here and there in my paintings. So I did pick up this iridescent bright gold from Liquitex, and I like the shade that it is, and it is in this painting. It has a little bit of a translucent, if you look at the paint, how you read these paint containers is it's showing you that it's not fully opaque, which is kind of interesting actually. So there's a little bit of that up here at the top, which I think really looks, I love the way it looks. So when I put it on, I was like, I really love the way it looks. I'm definitely keeping that. And there is a bit of gold down here under the ladder. And I put it on top of, I had some rice paper that actually has a bit of a texture to it. I don't know if you can see that, but almost like a relief, like it was maybe a bit of a flower texture or something. And if you have something like that, you can put a bit of something iridescent or gold on top, and it looks really, really interesting. So I really love the way that turned out. And then my ladder is on top. And I also use recycled materials as well. So there's actually a bit of a page or something down here that was some sort of graph paper or something that I've written on that has words, and I love that too. I love using recycled things. All those small details combine to make things more interesting. So I didn't want to keep this too long, but I hope that you found it interesting. If there's something that I glazed over too fast and you'd like to ask me about, please put it in the chat and I will certainly try to get back to you. Oh, actually there was one more thing that I was going to mention and I forgot. So I'm looking at a reflection of myself. A couple of people asked me about the ladders, the ladder in my art. They're really important to me, and they're in a number of my paintings and continue to be so. I do a lot of meditation every night, actually, and the ladder to me represents an ascension type of thing, a soul growth. And I really love putting the ladders into my artwork because it's a piece of me that I really love and is something that's so special to me. I started my meditation a lot more seriously just after COVID, about maybe 6 months into COVID, with Insight Timer app. And now I'm at, I don't know, something like 400 and something days. I mean, it's irrelevant, but 400 and something days in a row. And I feel that it has changed my perspective on life. And it's really added to my life and really expanded my mindset and changed my outlook about things. So I think these ladders are going to probably continue to show up in my art. But if you were ever wondering what they were about, they're not just kind of an aesthetic thing. They are certainly linked to who I am as a person. So thank you everybody for showing up, and thank you for anybody who watches my replay. Really appreciated. I really appreciate that. You're supporting me, and you can always type replay in to the comments if you watch my replay. Thank you so much. Goodbye, everybody. And I'm so happy Luna didn't bark. It's amazing. My studio assistant, who's not always very helpful. She's sleeping. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you next week, okay?